the industry analysis. So industry analysis means analyzing the total industry where you want to make an investment. Let's say for example you want to make an investment into cement. So cement is manufactured, it's a manufactured product, and it is manufactured using some limited set of raw materials like limestone and gypsum and other raw materials that are required for manufacturing this, and the application is simply like construction purpose. So the cement is being used. Now the industry analysis means to what extent the industry is performing right now, and to what extent the industry may perform in the future. So that has to be analyzed. So then that is called industry analysis. So you will analyze about a one particular industry, whether the industry has the growth prospects or not. So there are specific factors which can be studied by for the analysis of the industry. One of that is growth rate of industry. Let's say for example in a particular cement industry, in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20, 21. Now suppose cement industry is performing well in this way. Okay. Now industry is performing in this way. So what is that you can understand from this kind of information is in 2015 industry is at this particular level, and in 2016 the industry has performed well, and then 17 it has faced some difficulty and again increased in the 2018, means there is some struggle that industry is facing. So finally in 2020 it's good, but again this kind of growth, whether it can be prolonged in the 2021 or not, so that has to again to be analyzed. So these reasons as why the industry has fallen during 2017 and in why 2019, these factors must be analyzed, and finally take these inputs and finally analyze the future prospects of the industry. So then by analyzing these information, then we will predict the future performance of the industry in this way. So if you could conclude that in 2021 the industry is going to be performed well because these factors are not present in 2021, so that you can estimate the future performance of the industries can be good. In that way industry analysis must be done, the growth rate of the industry, how the industry is performing or not. Type of the industry. So some of the the industries are, some of the industries are like in growing state, some may be cyclical in state, and then defensive. So which type of industry that it is, whether it is growing industry or the cyclical industry, in the sense sometimes there will be a growth you will see, and again you will see a slump, and then you will see some growth. So that is what a cyclical. And defensive industry is something like always you need to observe whether the industry is in may perform well or not. So because every time the industry performs in a very lenient in condition in the case of defensive industry. So this way you need to classify what type of industry it is, and based on that you will analyze that particular industry. And then nature of competition. So nature of competition in the sense, say for example in the industry the players are different people are do their business in this industry. So say for example this is cement industry. So in cement industry all these players are doing their business, Ambuja Cement, ACC Cement and all different industries are doing, different people are doing their business. Now nature of competition means to what extent that there is a competition prevailing in this particular industry, whether the competition is a perfect competition, imperfect in the sense where the there are classifications like monopoly, oligopoly and a monopolistic competition. All these comes under this the imperfect markets. But in the perfect markets or a perfect competition wherein many number of players exist, many number of the people exist in that particular industry and do business. So the profit margins would be very less in case of perfect markets. but whereas in the case of imperfect, the profit margins will be good. So all these things, perfect, whether the industry is belongs to the perfect perfect market, or else imperfect markets, then based on that we will analyze the nature of competition may prevailing in that particular industry. So this will give us information about the industry, that maybe industry is going to may perform well in the future or not. And the nature of product. So what product that it deals with. So in this example we have taken cement industry, right? So means it is cement. So when it is cement, where there is an applicability, it is an applicability in construction. So how, what is the growth prospects of this construction business? So recently we have seen that the corona has affected the almost all the sectors, even it has affected even construction business also. So now people are not in a position to spend money for the house and building construction purpose. So now demand is not being created for the construction business, so demand is not creating for the cement. So demand may not be created for the input materials for manufacturing of the cement. So all these are all related things must be analyzed, which is part of nature of the product. And then subsidies, incentives and concessions. So government gives subsidies, incentives and concessions for certain type of industries for expecting some growth in that. Let's say for example, a government, let's think about the solar panels. Now India need power. So most of the India's power requirement is fulfilled by the hydraulic power and thermal power sources, but that is not the future, because maybe the the solar power and wind power, like conventional power sources, are very important. So these are known as the renewable sources, renewable power sources. So these renewable power sources must be very much required for the countries like India for their development. So now government may wants to increase the solar panels production, and so that people will be able to buy the solar panels and install the solar panels and make use of solar power. So this way the power reduction, but the power consumption burden can be reduced for the government. So because government is giving a lot of subsidy for the power on the power, so that's why if solar panels are manufacturing are encouraged, so that most of the industries may do such kind of solar panel manufacturing business and produce more, and maybe make those kind of products available to the customers. So that's why government may offer incentives, maybe may announce a tax holiday for about 5 years, or else some kind of incentives like initial input cost reduction, input cost, whatever the amount of input cost that is required for the establishment of the solar panel manufacturing business. Maybe government can announce 10%, 20% subsidy. So this way government can provide some kind of incentives or subsidies or any other kind of concessions. So these are all another important factors to analyze the industry. And then tax framework. So government also may offer some favorable tax policies for some kind of specific industries. So that way also you can think about whether yes, this government may support this particular industry by providing lower percentage of taxes, or maybe some kind of concessions on the taxes, so that it will give us some kind of the inputs regarding this particular industry, whether it is going to perform in the future or not. And then import and export policies. So another important source for the companies for doing business is imports and exports. You can import products which are not available in that country and export the products where it has some more demand. So this kind of business can be done by export imports businesses. So where the policies may hit these businesses to a very greater extent, because the policies of the home country and the policies of the other the hosting country also may impact the businesses. So if the policies are good, then export imports businesses could be good and their income will be good. That's why the industry of exports and imports related to many other industries so may affect the policies related to the exports and imports. So you need to observe what are the different policies of a particular country, particular industry from past to present, and what is the government that is ruling currently, and what is their opinion. No, but through the different reports and different analysis, you will come to know a conclusion whether the government is going to encourage the exports and imports related to a particular industry or not. So this information is required for analysis. Sorry. And then financing norms. So every business needs money. So financing norms related to the interest rates offering to a particular industry. Let's say housing loans. So the government may offer some kind of incentivizing percentage rate of interest for the home loan businesses. So financing companies, those who are offering home loans, may definitely get benefited with these kind of norms, financing norms. So this way, financing norms which are related to your industry also another important thing must be studied. And then state of technology. So your product, your industry may use currently a kind of one particular technology, one particular kind of technology, but that may not be the future. So you may see another type of technology in the future. Let's say, let us consider a very small sector related to the related to the AP state, that is mangoes. So initially mangoes were being transported from Andhra Pradesh to the the Delhi and Kolkata and other where places. So where they used to use the the bamboo, okay, bamboo based items for packing the mangoes. From that technology to right now, they have shifted to the latest technology, corrugated boxes. Corrugated boxes. So now the technology has changed. Now the people are not using these bamboo based baskets, but right now they are using the corrugated boxes. So people, those have come to know a conclusion that maybe in future the boxes are the bamboo based items are not being used, only boxes are being used. So then maybe they shift their main concentration from this technology to the corrugated box technology. So now today corrugated boxes are being used a kind of technology to transport the mangoes from the state like AP to even foreign countries. That way the technology may impact one particular industry. So now you need to analyze this kind of factors like state of technology currently, whether it is the state of technology is in the modern technology or older technology, outdated technology that it is being using, and in future what kind of technology that it may use. So this is also another important factor. And then industrial policies. The government announce different industrial policies from time to time. So these policies will definitely have an impact on the growth rate of certain industries. You should observe them. And then socio demographic trends. So socio demographic factors are related to a particular industry must be analyzed, and the trend of the socio demographic factors will also have an impact on the industry must be analyzed. And then government programs and projects. So what kind of government programs that are being carried out? So recently government has started various programs like Swachh Bharat and skill development programs as such. So these are all the projects or programs related to this welfare or the societal development. So now if you start any business related to or related to those government programs, so that you will be benefited, because government may give much encouragement for your kind of business or industries. So those are important to study again. And then industry life cycle. So every industry has its has to follow certain life cycle, like the industry introduction, maturity, growth, maturity, and declining. This may also be followed for even industry also. So particularly your industry, whether your particular industry is in growing state or maturity state, declining state, you need to observe it. And finally, based on the state of the industry in the life cycle, you are supposed to take decisions. And then SWOT analysis. This SWOT analysis is for the industry SWOT analysis. Industry specific